Alright, boys, welcome back to another Maybe Lewis MMA prediction video. Now, I know I missed UFC Vancouver last week. I'm sorry. Your boy was busy, boys. If you want to see my predictions for that, go look at my post on my YouTube. I uploaded my predictions there. Was not good, boys. So many underdogs won on that card. Not great. So we're just going to skip past that card. Never really want to talk about it, but Brendan Allen came through. Pretty good win. All I got to say there. But obviously, today is UFC 321 Aspinall vs. Gane, boys. Finally, heavyweight title fight. So, I'm going to go through the UFC 321 card, let you know my predictions, let you know my locks, my thoughts on the fights, stuff like that, boys. Alright, so let's get started. So, the first fight of the night, Jacqueline Amorim versus Mizuki. Now, I'm pretty sure Mizuki hasn't fought, since 2023. She beat Goldie. I don't even know who that is. She's fighting Amorim, who's Brazilian, and she's 10-1, 8 wins by submission. So, pretty good. Her last fight, she submitted Viana. Pretty good win, not gonna lie. Before that, she also beat Demopoulos. So, solid names for women fighters to beat. She also lost to Sam Hughes in her debut. That's her only loss, but doesn't really matter. So, based on Mizuki, she's been inactive 2 years. Amorim's been beating solid fighters, getting submission wins. So, I got Amorim by round 2 submission, and I think that's a lock. I think she's going to be too much for Mizuki, who's going to have some rust. She's going in there against someone who's going to try to drown her in the grappling, So, yeah, that's who I got, boys. Amorim, round 2 submission. That's a lock. Now, next fight we got, boys. Azat Maksum versus Mitch Raposo. Now, Mitch Raposo, I'm pretty sure he lost his last fights by split decision versus Mudarji and versus Lima. Yeah, he didn't really look that good. Those fights, he wasn't really doing much. But Maksum, his last fight versus Olimbekov, I don't know, it's not showing me the thing here. But he lost to Charles Johnson, and he beat Nam by split decision in his debut. He's 15-2, 5 wins by knockout, 7 by submission, 6 first round finishes, pretty good. I just think he's way more experienced than Mitch Raposo, obviously. Mitch Raposo lost his last 2 fights by split decision, but I'm pretty sure the Mudarji fight wasn't even that close. Mudarji won. It should have been unanimous. So just based on that, I got Maksum by unanimous decision. I think he's just better everywhere than Raposo. And I think they're just trying to get Mitch Raposo a win here, but I don't think that's going to happen, boys. I got Maksum by decision, that grappling and striking, whatever, Now, next fight, we got heavyweights on this card, boys. Hamdi Abdelwahab versus Chris Barnett. Obviously, Chris Barnett, a year since his last fight versus Luzenjeku. Obviously lost that. He had a bad foot injury in that fight. But, he beat Collier by knockout, lost to Boudet, beat Vellante by knockout. We all remember that spinning wheel kick that he landed. No heavyweight should be throwing no shit like that. But he's 23-9, 18 wins, 8 by first round finish. 18 wins by knockout, my bad. But yeah, and obviously Hamdi, the younger, more fresh fighter, he got 5 wins by knockout, 4 first round finishes. He's 6-1. His last fight versus Muhammad Usman, I think he lost, and then he beat Pogues and Mays. I don't know why it's not showing me the fight here. I don't know. It's weird. It's not showing me who won, but I'm pretty sure he lost to Muhammad Usman. But I think Chris Barnett really in this fight, he has that chance to land that one big shot, if you know what I mean. He doesn't really have much else for Hamdi. Obviously, he has that power and that striking, but nothing much else there. I think Hamdi has definitely the grappling advantage 100%. And I think he's going to use that well versus Chris Barnett. So I got Hamdy by unanimous decision. He's just going to control him on the ground, I feel. Not let him get up, boys. So yeah, that's my pick. Hamdy by decision. Now next fight, boys. Nathaniel Wood versus Jose Miguel Delgado. Now this is a banger. Not going to lie, boys. Obviously Nathaniel Wood just beat Cherry, I forget, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but obviously he's 21-6, 8 wins by knockout, 5 submissions, 7 first round finishes. He beat Cherry by decision. He beat Pineda by decision. Lost to Naimov, beat Andre Fili, beat Charles Jourdain. Those are pretty decent back-to-back wins. Fili and Jourdain, decent names in the UFC. But Delgado, not gonna lie, he's been looking great. Obviously, he just got that 20-second knockout versus Hyder Emil in June. I think it was an international fight week. And then his debut, he knocked out Matthews. So I think Delgado, obviously, he's 10-1, 6 wins by knockout, 7 first-round finishes. Great striker. He has the power advantage, I feel, in this fight. Nathaniel Wood can mix it up. I think he's probably the better overall fighter, Nathaniel Wood. But I think Delgado definitely has that striking advantage with his pop. And I'm going to factor that in with this pick here. So I think Delgado could keep the fight up, keep it on his feet, and he'll find that shot eventually. So I got Delgado, round 2, TKO. I think he's just going to find that shot. He's going to clip Wood, drop him, get that ground and pound finish. That's my pick, boys. Now, next fight, more heavyweights, boys. Walter Walker, number 15, ranked heavyweight, versus Louis Sutherland, who's making his debut. I wonder if they have any stats of him. He's 10-3, Louis Sutherland. He's on a 4-fight win streak. He has 8 wins by knockout and 7 first-round finishes. So Walter Walker was supposed to fight Muhammad Usman, I think, last week, if I'm mistaken, or 2 weeks ago or something. And Louis Sutherland was supposed to fight Justin Tafa in UFC Perth. Obviously, they made this fight come together. They both had their opponents pull out, but they were both ready to fight. So they just threw it a few weeks later. Said, go at it, boys. Obviously, I don't really know much about Louis Sutherland. Looks like a big guy. Definitely look roided up wherever promotion he was fighting in, because he does not look like the same guy he was in them pictures I was seeing from before. But obviously, Walter Walker, he's on that, I think, 3 or 4 fight heel hook streak. 3-fight heel hook streak. Obviously, Njeku, Mays, and Tafa. I think he has the grappling advantage in this one, and I think he might get another heel hook in this one, boys. So I'm going just based off experience and grappling. I got Walker by round 1 submission, and I think that's a lock, boys. I think he'll definitely get that done. And yeah. Next fight on the card, boys. Ludwig Klein versus Mateus Rumbecki. Oof, that's a banger, boys. Obviously, Ludwig Klein just lost to Gamrot, but that is no bad loss, boys. Obviously, before that, he beat Roberts, beat Moises, beat Cunningham, beat Bahamondes, and he had a draw with Jai Herbert. Bahamondes beating him, pretty good. He has that Muay Thai. Them great kicks. He has 9 wins by knockout, 10 first round submissions. He also has 8 wins by submission and 9 by knockout. So kind of mixing it up there. Obviously, Mateus Rumbecki, last fight versus Chris Duncan, went to war with him. That was a great fight, boys. Obviously, he lost that. Chris Duncan won by decision. But he was in there, I feel, the whole way. Didn't look bad. Obviously, he lost. He did get pieced up pretty bad. Obviously, before that, he fought Orlobai. Another war. He went to split decision with him. That was a great fight as well. So he's taken a lot of damage his last 2 fights. Not going to lie. And before that, he got finished by Diego Ferreira. So I think that's going to add up. Definitely facing a sniper, someone like Ludwig Klein, who just picks their shots, precision, I don't think this is that good of a fight for Mateus Rumbecki, unfortunately. So I got Ludwig Klein by round 2 TKO. I think he's going to find that shot. Rumbecki taking too much damage his last few fights. So definitely his chin is not going to be all the way there. Neither is his head. I think one clean shot will definitely send him crashing down to the canvas. And I think Luck with the Klein. With that Muay Thai, with them kicks, I think he's going to be able to find that shot. Round 2, Luck with Klein. TKO, boys. Alright, boys. Next fight. We got Ikram Aliskerov versus the Iron Turtle, Park Jung-young. Obviously, Ikram, his last fight, who did he fight? He fought Andre Muniz his last fight. Won by first round knockout. But before that, got knocked out by Whitaker. We all know that. But then he had 2 first round finishes before that. And Jung-young Park, who did he last fight? Nardiev, and he beat Brad Tavares. He lost to Muniz. Park is kind of like an up and down kind of fighter. Win one, win a few here, then lose a few, if you know what I mean. I just think, honestly, Ikram Aliskerov, I think very highly of this guy. I think he could definitely be future like top 10, top 5 ranked contender. I think he's better everywhere than Park Jung-young. Unfortunately, I don't think he really has that much to offer for Ikram. So I think Park is good enough to survive the first round and avoid that knockout shot from Ikram, but he's going to find it eventually. And I think he'll be in round 2. I got Aliskerov, round 2, TKO. I think he'll eventually find that shot versus Park and get it done. Now, the last fight on the prelims, boys. We got Nasrat Haqparast versus Quillan Salkild. This fight came together pretty shortly, not gonna lie. I think it just got announced like a week or 2 ago. Obviously, Haqparast won his last fight by split decision versus Ribovic. It was a pretty good fight. Obviously, he beat Gordon before that by split decision. Ian Malarkey. Salkild, he last fought at 316 versus Ashmoff. He won by unanimous decision, and then he knocked out Jubilee. Round 1 knockout in his debut. Not gonna lie, I went to UFC 316. I didn't think Salkild looked that good. I don't know what it was. When I was watching, I personally just didn't think he looked that good out there. Obviously, he was controlling the fight and stuff, but I just thought he should have been able to get that fight done, finished him. And I think Nasrat might be too much for Quillan Salkild this early on. Not gonna lie, it's pretty good opponent. I think he's probably better in the grappling. Maybe not so much the striking. Maybe just I'd give that to Quillan, but I think the grappling definitely there for Nasrat. I think he could control Quillan for most of the fight there. So that's my pick. I got Haqparast by unanimous decision. Probably just based off control time, not really that much damage. But yeah, we'll see how that one goes. I hope Quillan wins this one. But I got Haqparast. Now, boys, starting the main card, we got Alexander Rakic, number 7, versus Azmat Mirzakhanov, the number 10 ranked opponent. Alexander Rakic, obviously, no name in the light heavyweight division. Last fought Magomed Ankalaev 1 year ago. Was a pretty close fight, not gonna lie. No one gives him credit for that. I think it was unanimous 29-28, but Rakic made some dumb decisions in that fight. I think he was shooting for takedowns in round 3 or something. Definitely could have been a split decision if he decided to keep it standing, but obviously he didn't. Made some poor choices. Lost by unanimous decision. But before that, got KO'd by Jiri and got KO'd by Jan Blachowicz. What can you do? Imagine fighting Jan Blachowicz, Jiri Prochazka, and Magomed Ankalaev. Those 3 in a row. I mean, it's not easy. But before that, he was winning all of his fights mostly. Versus names in that division. But Azamat Murkhanov, obviously, getting a lot of knockouts and finishes in this light heavyweight division, boys. He last fought at 316 versus Brendan Ribeiro. I'm pretty sure he was supposed to fight Johnny Walker, but Walker pulled out, fought Ming Yang instead. But obviously, he knocked out Ribeiro round 1. He knocked out Alonzo Menefield in round 2. He beat Dustin Jacoby, beat Clark, and beat Mirzakhanov. Doing pretty good. He's undefeated, but I'm pretty sure he's old. He's like 30-something, Mirzakhanov. But he's at a major height disadvantage in this. I think he's like 5'11", and Rakic is like 6'5". There's like a picture of them at the face-offs. looked really small, and I think that's going to come to play. Obviously, Rakic has the height and reach advantage. Azamat's going to have to close that distance to find that knockout shot, and I don't think he will be able to. I think Rakic is good enough to keep that distance, keep Azamat back away, and just control him with his jab, kicks. If Magomed Ankalaev couldn't get it done, I do not think Azamat Murkhanov is getting it done. So I got Alexander Rakic. I don't think he'll finish Azamat. I just think he'll win by decision, based off like point fighting. Stuff like that, boys. Next fight, boys. We got Alexander Volkov versus Jailton Almeida. Unfortunately, Alexander Volkov got robbed his last fight versus Cyril Gane. He should be fighting for the title this weekend, but this is the best they could do to him. Unfortunately, they gave him one of the greatest grappling heavyweights of all time, Jailton Almeida. Me personally, I think Jailton's going to run through Volkov. I don't know. I think that grappling is too much. Most heavyweights don't have that. Volkov's been looking good his last few fights. Obviously, he grappled with Gane a little bit, but Cyril Gane, come on, it's not really that good. I don't know why I got this feeling Jailton's just going to go out there and run through Volkov. But that's my prediction. I got Jailton Almeida by round 1 sub. And, yeah. That's what I think is going to happen in that one. Now, next fight, boys. We got Umar Nurmagomedov versus Mario Batista. Obviously, Umar lost his last fight to Merab. Very competitive fight. I think that's definitely Merab's hardest opponent to date. Was like, I think 48-47. Umar won 2 rounds, looked pretty good. Mario Batista, obviously, on a big win streak. He just beat Patchy Mix at 316. Before that, he beat Aldo, Ricky Simon, Blackshear. I don't know. I don't really think Mario Batista has what it takes to beat someone like Umar. I think he's good, just not great. I think Umar is a better grappler, better striker. I think he's better everywhere. The only thing is, Mario Batista is pretty big for bantamweight. That might give Umar some problems. Still think he'll be able to figure it out. I think Umar is going to win this by unanimous decision. I don't think he'll finish Mario. Mario's pretty tough, could keep his way out of submissions and getting knocked out, I feel. But got Umar, unanimous decision. And I think that one is a lock, boys. Umar, decision lock. Now, for the first title fight of the evening, we got, for the women's strawweight title, Verna Jandiroba versus Mackenzie Dern. The rematch of the fight that happened a few years ago. Obviously, Verna Jandiroba has been winning a lot of fights recently. She beat Jan by decision. She beat Lemos round 2 sub. She beat Godinez by decision. She beat Rodriguez by decision. She beat Hill by decision. She beat Ribas by decision. And beat Murata. Obviously, I'm pretty sure Mackenzie Dern, and Carla Esparza, those are her 2 losses in the UFC. That Dern fight, after that she went on the win streak to the one she's on now. And Mackenzie Dern herself, let's check it out. And Verna Jandiroba has 14 wins by decision. She has 22 wins in total. So, obviously, jiu-jitsu practitioner. Just like Mackenzie Dern, who has 15 wins and 8 are by submission. Dern just beat Ribas by decision in round 3. She beat Lupe Godinez. She lost to Lemos, lost to Andrade. Beat Hill, lost to Jan. Obviously, this fight already happened. Dern beat her. But I think they're 2 completely different fighters now. So Verna, I think, is definitely the better grappler out of the 2. In the first fight, she was just getting, overwhelmed a lot in the striking. I just watched highlights. I didn't watch the whole fight. But it looked like she was just, getting overwhelmed. And Mackenzie was, running her down and, making her cover up. And then, grabbing her and, just making it like a dogfight kind of. But Verna is beating fighters that Mackenzie Dern is losing to. And I'll always take that into account. I know MMA math doesn't work, but I will always take that into account. Amanda Lemos destroyed Mackenzie Dern, dropped her a bunch of times. And Verna, I'm pretty sure, submitted her in 2 rounds. That says a lot to me. So I think Verna Jandiroba has improved enough to beat Mackenzie Dern this time around. I think she's the best strawweight on the planet. Not on the planet I'm smoking, obviously. Zhang Weili would smoke both of these ladies, but she obviously moved up to 322. At 322, she's going to fight Valentina Shevchenko. I'm going to 322, boys, by the way. But I got Virna Jandiroba by unanimous decision. I think she'll be able to grapple, control Mackenzie Dern on the ground, and stay away from... I think she's... I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? She's experienced enough in the grappling to stay out of submissions from Dern. So I got Virna Jandiroba by decision. And new strawweight women's champion. Now, for the main event of the evening, boys, we got Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane. It's a big one, boys. Obviously, Tom Aspinall, 15-3, 12 wins by knockout, 14 first-round finishes. And he has been knocking everybody out at heavyweight. Just knocked out Blades to defend the interim title. I would count that as a title defense personally, but obviously it was the interim. Knocked him out in a minute. Before that, knocked out Pavlovich in a minute. Knocked out Tybura in a minute. Obviously lost to Blades. That don't count. He submitted Volkov in 1 minute. Knocked out Spivak in a minute. Submitted fucking Arlovsky in 2 rounds. Yeah, this guy's just clearing the division out. And there's one guy he hasn't fought yet, and that's Cyril Gane. And I think this is definitely his biggest challenge to date, boys. Minus if he ever fought John Jones. Cyril Gane is Tom Aspinall's hardest challenge to date. I believe that personally. Obviously, Cyril Gane just robbed Volkov. We all know that was a robbery. But before that, he obviously finished Spivak. He lost to John Jones by sub. And then he obviously beat Tuivasa before that. Lost to Ngannou and lost to Lewis. So he's losing all his title shots, but then beating all the contenders. And that's going to happen again. Tom Aspinall is better everywhere. Let me slow down. I think Cyril Gane is definitely the better striker all around. Kicks, punches. But I think Aspinall is the quicker striker. Very fast for a heavyweight. Very powerful. 2 combinations that once they go together, someone's getting knocked out or taken down, submitted. Yeah, I think Tom Aspinall is better everywhere. Cyril Gane obviously has the striking factor, but that's it. I think Tom Aspinall is going to submit Cyril Gane in round 1. I don't think... He might drop him and then submit him, or he might knock him out. I don't know. Tom Aspinall. It's heavyweight. Anyone, could get knocked out. But I got Tom Aspinall by round 1 submission. I think he's just going to run through Cyril Gane, make it look easy. Might even be quicker. Not quicker than John Jones. Might be around the same, but yeah, I think this is going to be easy. Another name for Tom Aspinall to beat. Cyril Gane's not the guy to beat Tom Aspinall. But yeah, that's my prediction, boys. Tom Aspinall, round 1 submission. And yeah, I'll be back after this video for my reactions to this card, obviously. I'm recording this the night of. Card starts in like 10 hours. I will be watching, boys. I might miss some fights. Got something to do today. But I will be watching. I'll come back with my reactions for this card, boys. But yeah, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Obviously, let me know what I could do better. Let me know your predictions down below. And yeah, peace out, boys. I'll see you in the next one.